The disparity between the haves and have-nots in club football often means that getting actual underdog stories can be a rare thing. However, Borussia Dortmund making it to the finals of the 2023-24 edition of the Champions League is nothing short of a minor miracle, especially when you look at not only the kind of journey that they've had through this edition of the Champions League, but also more importantly, the kind of club that Dortmund are. And the kind of club that they are should be as far away removed from the elitist of elite clubs that make the finals of the Champions League. Yet, the Yellow and Black Army have defied all odds and will be playing in the final of the Champions League. Now, how exactly did this happen and why is this such an underdog story? Well, we'll get to that in just a bit. But first, let's look at how it is they made it this far. Now, when you look at this table, it represents exactly how it is that their group looked like. Now, just look at this group. You've got Dortmund, you've got PSG, AC Milan and Newcastle United. This was in many ways termed the group of death, and you'd be right in calling it exactly that. But not only did Dortmund manage to qualify out of it, leapfrogging the likes of Newcastle, Milan and PSG, they even topped the group. That in itself was a massive surprise, given that most expected that a PSG or a Milan, given the kind of heritage a Milan has, or of course the recent success that a PSG have had, most of them expected one of these two teams to be topping the group and potentially the other one finishing second. Dortmund at best were seen to be relegated into the Europa League. That's not quite what happened, because they only lost one game. They won 3 and drew the other 2 to ensure that they were comfortably ahead in first place. So they actually had the best performance in what was by some distance the toughest group. And thereafter in the knockouts, everyone expected, okay, this would probably be the time wherein they'd get knocked out and their journey would be done. But that didn't quite happen. I mean, if you look at the round of 16, they were up against PSV. That was a tie that most expected they'd win, and that's exactly how it worked out, because they beat PSV 3-1 on aggregate. Come the quarters though, and everyone expected Atletico Madrid to make it through, but a comeback win in the second leg at home ensured that Dortmund could win 5-4 on aggregate and then make it improbably to the semis. Then in the semis, they were up against PSG. Most people thought, oh, this is going to be an easy tie for PSG, but a back-to-back 1-0 wins in both semi-final legs ensured that they ended up winning 2-0 on aggregate and are now through to this finals of the Champions League. Now, why did I say that it's a massive achievement considering what kind of club they are? That is because Dortmund are in many terms what would be referred to as a selling club. They're not one of those clubs that are able to consistently retain all of their top talent. They'll buy talent young, develop them, and then in 3-4 years time they'll end up moving on for pastures anew. Notable examples of such players, there's of course, if you go back all the way till even the 2012-2013 season, which is when they last played the Champions League, you've seen a Robert Lewandowski develop at Dortmund then leave. You've seen a Mario Götze develop over there and leave. Now in more recent times, Jude Bellingham cut his teeth at Borussia Dortmund before moving to Real Madrid. Erling Haaland did the same before moving to Manchester City. Dortmund are a selling club. Their entire purpose is to get young uncut diamonds, let's say, polish them up and then sell them on for a much bigger price. It's their business model. How does a club that fails to more often than not retain their top talent make it as far as the Champions League final? That's what makes it so inspirational in so many ways. And I, for one, will be rooting for Dortmund in the final, no matter if they're up against a Real Madrid or if they're up against Bayern Munich. And I'd love a Dortmund-Bayern final due to the very simple fact that it would be a rematch from the last time that Dortmund played the final in the same venue, incidentally, of Wembley. And I'd love if they could actually go on to avenge what loss they suffered all those years back, 11 years back, and give a perfect send-off to someone like a Marco Reus, a player who has stayed loyal to Dortmund through all these years and will be leaving at the end of this season. But what are your thoughts on Dortmund's inspirational fairy tale run? You can let us know that in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon, follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Don't forget to download the AajTak app, and if you're already on the channel, go ahead, check out some other videos we've done as well. For now, from my side though, it's goodbye.